All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, myself and our panelists. We're here to learn about the top liberal arts colleges in Ohio. So thank you to our panelists for hosting this session today. They will have a chance to introduce themselves, but just a couple of housekeeping items for our students as we move through the session. Remember that your microphones and your videos are off, so our panelists cannot hear you. If you have a question for any or all of our panelists, please feel free to use the Q&A function to type in your questions and they will answer as we go along. We also encourage you after this to revisit this session as it will be recorded and posted on the PACAC website after the session is complete. So without further ado, I will let our panelists introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Greetings, folks. My name is Ellen Turner, and I'm from Kenyon College. Josh?
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Levy, Oberlin College Associate Director of Admissions. David?
Hi, everyone. David Newberry-Yoakley, Senior Associate Director of Admissions from the College of Worcester.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Gibson, Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Denison University.
Great. Thanks. It's so good to be with my colleagues again. We enjoy working together, and we are delighted and pleased that you have joined us to learn about 4 of Ohio's liberal arts and sciences colleges. We're located, as you know, just to the west of you. So it's your neighboring state, and we do hope that you will come to see us when you can. And we are excited to let you know more about who we are today. At first, we're going to talk a little bit about what a liberal arts and sciences education is all about. Liberal arts and sciences is either a college or university curriculum that's designed to impart general knowledge and develop general intellectual capabilities in contrast to a professional or a vocational or a technical curriculum. The curriculum is both broad and deep, and the breadth is determined by the general institutional requirements of each of the colleges or universities, and the depth is provided by a selection of a major and the study of the courses required for that major. Now, all of us represent liberal arts and sciences colleges, and there's a difference between a college and earning a liberal arts and sciences degree at a major university, which is also possible. The most salient differences have to do often with class size, whereas at a college, you'll usually find classes between 12 and 16, whereas at a university, they're more often large classes. There's often, at a college, you will be more likely to find discussion and less lectures. Also, all classes are taught by faculty members and not graduate assistants. And at colleges and instead of universities, colleges are faculty are dedicated to teaching first, with doing their research second. And often students are included in that research at colleges, beginning even as early as their first year. That's less likely at a university because we have graduate students who are also doing that research. So this afternoon, my colleagues and I are going to talk about our institutions, and we're going to start with Nancy from Denison.
Hi, everyone. My name again is Nancy Gibson, and I'm so pleased to be able to be with you this afternoon. I want to give you a little bit of information on Denison University. This is an aerial photo of our campus, and we are located up on top of a hill in Granville, Ohio. So these are just some basic statistics and pieces of information that are really important to know about Denison. We're 2,300 students right there in the middle of that square there. We're a 4-year residential community, which is so important because there are many schools these days that have students that live on campus for, the first year or 2, and then they live off campus. So to actually be able to be a place where you come and live on campus for all 4 years is significant. We have 54 different academic majors. We have students that come from all over the country and the world. We actually have 56 different countries that are represented here at Denison. Student-teacher ratio is 9-to-1 as well. So a lot of really important statistics and things that you should know about Denison. And I want to focus on some of the things that make us unique. So as I mentioned, we're located right in Granville, Ohio. It was founded in 1805 by people from Granville, Massachusetts, actually. So it looks very much like New England in the middle of Ohio. And so we're in central Ohio. The village of Granville is only about 6,000 people. And as I mentioned, we're up on a hill, and the village of Granville is the community that surrounds it below the hill. And we're then right next door to Columbus, Ohio. So we are about 25 minutes east of Columbus. So for us, we always feel like we have the best of both worlds. So everything that's great about being in a small community, but then access to a large metropolitan area. The Columbus area is actually the 14th largest city in the nation, which is amazing. And that actually includes just 2 million, the 2 million plus population just within the city of Columbus. There are lots of major headquarters of major corporations like Nationwide Insurance. Wendy's was founded in Columbus. So there are so many great opportunities for our students to be able to take advantage of. We also just opened our new Denison Launch Lab, which is brand new and an opportunity for our students who are coming from a liberal arts background to actually be able to work alongside professionals and get exposure to the work world and the workforce right there in downtown Columbus. So we think that's a huge advantage. And again, having the best of both worlds really makes it a very attractive location for students as they're considering Denison. So as I mentioned, we have 54 different academic programs available that students are able to pursue. The ones that are highlighted in red are actually new academic programs that we've added recently just over the summer. And ironically, even though we're in a global pandemic right now, we actually had global health in the works. And so we just added that this summer. We also reconfigured our political science major, so now it's politics and public affairs. And then we also have, in recent years, past about 3 years ago or so, added data analytics, global commerce, and then concentrations in financial economics and narrative journalism. We also then reconfigured our health, our athletic training major, so now it's health, exercise, and sports studies. So we really do feel like we've got a lot of great academic programs that our students can pursue. They actually don't have to officially declare a major until the end of their sophomore year. So it's wonderful to know that you've got plenty of time before you actually have to make a decision on what it is that you're going to major in. We actually have a lot of activities that students can pursue. We've got over 160 different student organizations at Denison, so many different things students can get involved in. We're very, very excited about our new Michael D. Eisner Center for the Performing Arts. Michael Eisner is the former CEO of Disney and also a Denison alum, and he's right there in that middle picture at the podium as we opened this new facility last fall. So it brings music, theater, and dance all together under one roof. Students are required to take 2 courses within the fine arts by the time they graduate. So all of our students at some point will be able to be exposed to this facility. 33% of our students are involved in music ensembles at Denison. So there are lots of things that students can be able to do inside and outside of the classroom, from the organizations to the different ensembles, theater productions, what have you. We also athletically are a Division III college and offer 24 different varsity sports, 20 to 25 club and intramural sports as well. So we really feel like we've got a lot to offer outside of the classroom. As students are looking at a variety of things that they're interested in, there are lots of things to be able to pick and choose from. So it's really important. Outcomes are important to us. And so the Knowlton Center for Career Exploration is a really important center for our students to be able to take advantage of. They work with resume preparation, internships. They'll help with graduate and professional advising. We have 16 career coaches to be able to help students as they're looking to, their future careers. We also have an extensive alumni network. And as I mentioned, we've got our new Denison Launch Lab in downtown Columbus. So one thing that is nice about our internships is actually they're funded. We received a gift from the Knowlton Foundation so that we can fund our internships, and students can start doing internships as early as their freshman year. We really believe college is the time that students should be trying out jobs, and this allows them an opportunity to really go all over the country and get experience. So there are lots of really great opportunities there. These are some of the numbers as they play out at Denison. 6 months after graduating from Denison, 90% of our alumni are employed or enrolled in graduate or professional school or in a service opportunity. Right below, you'll see a little snapshot of some of the recent law and med school matriculations. And then also within 5 years of graduating from Denison, 99% of our alumni are currently employed or in graduate or professional school. 96% of alumni are working in their desired field or position. 94% of alumni are satisfied with how well Denison prepared them, and that's an average salary for those that are working full time. So that's something just to kind of keep in mind. Then lastly, just here's some information on the admissions process for Denison. We are a common application school. We've got our deadlines for early decision of November 15th and January 15th. Regular decision is also January 15th. We are a test optional school. We've been test optional for 12 years now, so a long period of time. We know that it works well for us. We do a holistic review of the application, so we want to make sure we know students individually, and we're taking everything into consideration, obviously spending a majority of our time looking at their academic preparation. We do meet 100% of demonstrated need and require the FAFSA and the CSS profile. So that's just a little bit of information on Denison that I wanted to share. And I am going to turn it over to, I think Kenyon is going next.
Thanks, Nancy.
Sure.
Greetings once again. Kenyon is the oldest private college in the state of Ohio. We were founded in 1824, and our 1,000-acre campus of woods and greens, distinguished by magnificent Gothic architecture, is truly the picture of a liberal arts and sciences college. We're located in Gambier, Ohio. Excuse me just a second, I'm trying to get this to go forward. We're located in Gambier, which is the geographical center of the state. Oops, sorry, I've got technical problems, clearly. It's the geographical center of the state. We're home to just over 1,700 students who come from 48 states and 49 countries. In addition to the beauty of the campus, there's something else that makes this college so extraordinary, and that's the fact that no one arrives in Gambier by accident. For over 200 years, students and faculty have been drawn to Kenyon and the village of Gambier as a place to engage in a journey that celebrates both study and exploration. They are seeking to become part of an intellectually vibrant and socially lively community. As such, the choice to study and to teach at Kenyon is an intentional decision made by our students and faculty. Our student-faculty ratio is 10-to-1, and our average class size has 15 students. Our students and faculty choose to embrace challenging work in a place of natural beauty without distraction, no skyscrapers, no strip malls, not even a stoplight. In short, they choose to focus on very big ideas in a very intimate setting. Our curriculum is both broad and deep. We offer more than 50 majors, minors, and concentrations, and 20% of our students pursue a double or self-designed major. Our students bring an open mind to seminar discussions, to labs and lectures, and they also fully embrace office hours. Their reward is that their attention is returned in unexpected proportions. There's something special about the student-faculty relationship at Kenyon. They are mentees and mentors in the truest sense of those terms. But our students and professors also see themselves as partners in inquiry, and this partnership manifests itself in many ways that remain with students beyond their 4 years on the Hill. Teaching and advising go hand in hand at Kenyon. The first acknowledgement of faculty advising at the collegiate level in the United States appeared in a letter from Rutherford B. Hayes to his mother, remarking about the advice he was receiving from a Kenyon faculty member in 1841. If you know anything about Kenyon, you probably are aware of our long-standing literary tradition. We are home to the Kenyon Review, one of the nation's most esteemed literary magazines. And we are also home to many Kenyon authors, including E.L. Doctorow, who once said, Kenyon does poetry like Ohio State does football. Many of our graduates of the renowned English program have gone on to excel as novelists, some of the most notable making repeat appearances on the New York Times bestseller list. One such writer is John Green. His celebrated book, The Fault in Our Stars, was adapted into a blockbuster movie, and his YouTube series, Crash Course, has educated millions. While our literary tradition is a distinction that we wear with great pride, as you know, the ability to write well extends far beyond the way in which you compose words on a page. At Kenyon, we believe that good writing translates to good thinking. As writers, our students are detailed, honest, and empathetic, and they recognize that writers have readers, so they learn to write with their audience in mind. At Kenyon, working and learning go hand in hand. Close to 100 students work as associates at the Kenyon Review, serving as first readers for hundreds of submissions a year. 50 students intern at the Gunn Gallery, our art museum. And just a half a mile from campus, a group of students live and work on our farm that supplies food to our dining hall, learning firsthand about agricultural sustainability. Life outside the classroom is as engaging as it is inside. Kenyon students especially love to be on both the page and the stage. Their words appear on a dozen campus journals and blogs, and we have over 150 clubs and organizations, which include everything from ballroom dancing to student government. We produce about 30 dramatic productions a year, and about 75% of Kenyon students are involved in community service throughout Knox County. Students further enrich their experience by attending cultural events, over 500 of which are available at Kenyon, that include lectures, concerts, readings, exhibitions, and film showings. At Kenyon, we have 22 varsity sports, with about a third of our student body participating. Another third of our students are involved in recreational sports, which include rugby and equestrian competition. Excellence plays out in the classroom, and it also plays out on the athletic field, which is why we are ranked second in the country among Division III institutions producing NCAA postgraduate scholars. Most of these impressive student athletes compete on our nationally ranked swim team. The staff of our Career Development Center reports that the ability to write well is one of the many skills that makes our students stand out to employers and graduate schools. For those applying to graduate schools, 98% of our students are accepted into one of their top 3 choices. And finally, a couple of words about admissions. Our deadlines are located here. We accept both the common application and the coalition application. And this year we are test optional. Financial aid information is available here, and we have also included an address there for folks to check out our specialized scholarships. There's several talent-based scholarships in art, music, and writing. And then we also have 2 scholarship programs, KEEP and STEM. And so we urge students to check those out. When you visit Kenyon, and we hope that you will be able to see one of our most distinctive features, which is Middle Path. 10 feet wide and running nearly a mile long, we like to say Middle Path is the heart of the Kenyon campus. Do come and see us. And now I'd like to turn this over to my colleague, Ed Oberlin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ellen. Have to find the right thing. Here we go. So, okay, hope everybody can, pretty sure everybody can see that. So thank you so much, Ellen. I am Josh Levy again from Oberlin College and Conservatory of Music. Oberlin is located in northern Ohio, about 35 miles southwest of Cleveland. We were founded in 1833. And within 4 years, we had established a policy of admission regardless of race or gender, making us the first institution in America to do so. So this commitment.
Hey Josh, I'm sorry to interrupt. We're not seeing your.
Oh, shoot. Okay, we're going to try it again. Thank you so much, David. Let's give this another shot here. Is that better? Hopefully that's
Yes,
better.
that's perfect.
Yes.
Excellent,
Great.
thank you. So everything I said still holds true, but now you can see a picture of what part of our campus looks like. So this commitment to diversity has been a part of Oberlin almost since day one, and we're very, very proud of that. What I want to share with you today are some of the things that help distinguish Oberlin in the academic and extracurricular realm. And so I think the thing I'd like to start with is that our philosophy of education is called the engaged liberal arts. It's this idea that your education is not just what you do in the classroom, but it's what you do for your 4 years on campus. It does start in the classroom, and our faculty love to work with students, but they like to have students wrestle with topics from different perspectives. They like to have students think about things from different angles, because when you get right down to it, that's something that employers and graduate school professors really want you to be able to do. Not just say, here's the one path that you can take to solve this problem, but here are several options. Let's figure out what's going to work best. One of the ways we do this is through our program called Studio C, Studio Oberlin Collaboration, where we get 2 or 3 faculty who teach 2 or 3 classes about a certain subject, but from different perspectives. Last fall, we had one that dealt with the topic of innovation. So we had a history professor who taught about innovation throughout history. Why is it that there are certain times when there are these big ruptures and this innovative thinking or new ideas in religion or philosophy or art? Another professor taught an innovation in creative writing class, and a third professor taught an innovation in dance. Students take these classes together and then can share ideas from one class when they're in another one with their colleagues. It's a great way to understand just how interrelated different departments are and how you can approach something from very different subjects. The education at Oberlin is going to be very hands-on, and certainly one of the aspects of this is research. All of our institutions will provide students with the opportunity to do research. Here's a picture of one of our physics labs. This is going to be very common. Again, students can start research pretty darn early. If they want to do it in their first year, you're going to have those opportunities. One of the ways we do that is through what we call winter term. The month of January, we don't offer classes on campus. Instead, we turn that month over to every student to do an in-depth project of some sort. So some students will do things that relate to their possible career. If you know you want to be a doctor, we can help you intern with a doctor. We can find a doctor for you to shadow. And you might discover that you absolutely love this and that you know you're going to go in and do that for your career. At the same time, you might also say, this really isn't what I thought it was going to be. And you haven't gone through the process of applying to and getting into medical school and then realize it's not something you like. You can also do something that relates to your major. These might be students who are interested in journalism. This is a picture of a few students interviewing the owner of Kim's Asian grocery store and restaurant right in town. It's a little marketplace along with a little takeout restaurant. Maybe they're interviewing her about what it's like to run a small business. This is something that as a journalist, you're going to need to be able to do. You're going to need to be able to make those connections with the people you're interviewing and tell their story in a really wonderful way. So you have winter term, you can do something like that. You could also do something fun. I learned how to scuba dive one year. That was my winter term project. Students do like doing those things. We don't expect that they're going to be gung-ho and do something academic every single one. So doing something that's a little bit of a break is fine as well. The outcomes of an Oberlin education are really wonderful. Our students do great things. One of the things that often characterizes their postgraduate options is a way to use their education to give something back in the world. And I think this is what the engaged liberal arts really is helpful with doing. It's our way of saying, think about everything you're doing. We can work with you on career internships or on winter term internships, because those are going to help set you up for post-college life in really wonderful ways. This is a picture of some of our Oberlin business scholars one year. These are students who applied to be on this program. They're interested in going into the business world, but up until now, we haven't had formal offerings in business. They can spend part of a semester doing a couple of courses. They can then spend spring break meeting Oberlin alumni in the business and financial worlds, making the connections, understanding what it means to be in the business world, and potentially getting you set up for life after college in really wonderful ways. The last thing I'll focus on is a unique combination of arts and academics that you're really going to be hard pressed to find anywhere else. We've got our traditional liberal arts college, but at the same time, we have a department of theater and a dance department. We have one of America's top college art museums on our campus. We have creative writing, we have cinema studies, and then we have our conservatory of music. You're going to be able to get involved in any and all of these if you are interested. Our art museum does run a program called Art Rental, where you could rent pieces of artwork for $5. You can rent up to 2 pieces a semester. The most common pieces each year are by people you may have heard of: Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali, Henri Matisse. Okay, you can take these pieces and hang them in your dorm room for just $5. And then there's all the music. There are over 500 concerts on campus every academic year, whether they are concerts from our conservatory students or whether they're things that happen in our SCO. The person on the right there is our president. There is just so much music that you can do on our campus, whether you're in the conservatory or not. So hopefully some of the things I've said are interesting to you. If they are, I would encourage you to look at Oberlin. Thanks so much. And I'm going to turn it over to David from Worcester.
All right, I think I'm up and running. Can you guys see my PowerPoint? Is that correct?
Yep, it looks good,
Yeah.
David.
Awesome, thank you so much. So again, my name is David Newberry-Yoakley, and I represent the College of Worcester. I'm a Senior Associate Director of Admissions at the college and also a Worcester graduate. I've only got 7 minutes, so I'm gonna get rolling here so I can make sure I can cover everything I need to cover. Really, we're gonna be talking in relationship to Worcester, we're gonna be talking about 3 kind of key areas. We're gonna be talking a little about the location, let you know where we're located at. We're gonna talk a little bit about our campus community, and also gonna talk about mentor undergraduate research as well. Backwards and forwards. So this is actually a great shot of downtown Worcester, and a couple of key facts about the place. The city of Worcester is about actually 30,000 people. And again, if you're from PA and you're not familiar, we're about an hour south of Cleveland, is where we're located at. But the city of Worcester has about 30,000 people, a really great kind of active, vibrant downtown area that is within walking distance for our students. So our students, if they're tired of being in the library and studying, they can hit up one of the coffee shops in downtown Worcester and just kind of hang out there. There are lots of kind of really kind of cute local restaurants. So when parents are in the town or come to town, the students oftentimes will convince parents to take them out to eat. But also, in addition to that downtown area, we also have what I call the North End, aka the strip mall area, where it also has really important things as well too. Students can access Starbucks, Chipotle, Five Guys. I usually say those few things and most students are really happy, but our students have access to big box stores as well as the downtown area. This is a great layout, a nice map of campus. And if you can see my cursor here, I'm going to highlight a couple different things. So one of the things I love about Worcester is all the green space. Our students, especially now with COVID, they're using our green spaces like they never had before. They're out studying, staying properly distanced from each other, but they're really taking advantage of all the green space on campus. Most of our, you can see hopefully you can see this mouse circling here. Most of our academic buildings are in this area of campus, and then most of our residence halls kind of line campus just on the outside. But it's about a 10-minute walk. If you're on the north end of campus up here in Boring-Heater Residence Hall, and you're headed down to Burton Morgan for an education class, you're looking at less than a 10-minute walk to get across campus. Our most popular question, no matter where we're at, is, can I have a car on campus? You would think there are more important questions to deal with than that, but that's the most popular campus and question, and yes, you can have a car on campus, even though it's just not necessary. Campus is about 240 acres. That includes a golf course, so it's a little unfair to include in there, but about 240 acres. And so it's just nice that students have space to move and things aren't stacked on top of each other. And then we are a residential campus, and I'll get to that just a little bit, but for us, we have, again, 2,000 students, but 99%, this is one of my favorite stats, 99% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. Beautiful seasons, great falls, great winters around campus as well too. This slide kind of gets into our campus size and our global community. So just over 2,000 students attending the College of Worcester. something that always surprises people is that it's where our students are coming from. The majority of our students are coming from out of state. Only 30% come from the state of Ohio. So we've got 46 different states represented and 65 different countries represented on campus as well too. This highlights a little bit about students of color and diversity, but I'm actually going to pop back just for a second and say, like, what's so great about this diversity is that the people that our students are interacting with, who you're in class with, who you're in activities and organizations with, who you're planning evening events with, like their perspectives are global perspectives. They're coming from around the country and around the world. And I think that's a major highlight of Worcester education. Almost 25% of our students are domestic students of color, so multicultural students. And then last year, this was the highest percentage in the state of Ohio. 17% of our students are international students. And so we've just got really great diversity in terms of where people are coming from. About 130 different student organizations, so there's lots to be involved with on campus. There's no lack of community and clubs and organizations on campus. Every fall, we set up what we call a Scott Spirit Day, which is like a college fair, or what used to be a college fair for student organizations, where our students can just move around and learn about different organizations and different groups across campus. About a third of our students, you'll find, are involved in musical ensembles on campus. And so this is a great way to be involved. We actually have music scholarships and theater and dance scholarships that are available to students who are non-music and theater majors. About a third of our students play a varsity sport. So there's varsity sports available on campus. We're a Division III institution, so there are no scholarships associated with that. But again, definitely the opportunity to be involved in a varsity sport or intramural or club sport as well too. Last thing I'll highlight is about a fourth of our students, are involved with theater and dance on campus as well. So I think one of the questions is, what type of student is the best fit for Worcester? And for us, what we usually just try to highlight is any student that really wants to be involved and engaged in their community is definitely going to be able to find their home at the College of Worcester. So that highlights a little bit about our student activities. The last thing I'm going to touch on is undergraduate research. And this is where we feel like we truly shine. This is the backbone of a Worcester's education, is the mentored undergraduate research experience. And what's so, I think, nice about these next couple slides highlight what it's really like to work with a faculty member for an undergraduate research experience. This is Nick Cardulius here from the archaeology department, working with one of his students on their undergraduate research experience. But really quickly, 18 student average class size and a 10-to-1 student-teacher ratio is also important. But back to the independent study piece, all of our students, regardless of the major, are required to sit down their junior year and their senior year and work with a faculty member on an undergraduate research experience. This is Jeff Lantis, one of the political science faculty members, working with a student on their independent study. But again, every single student has that opportunity, that junior and senior, not just select students. Every single student has that opportunity, junior and senior year, to say, hey, this is something I would like to know more about in terms of my department and my major. And a faculty member goes, great, let me help you out with that. So when I say research, oftentimes, this is what people envision. They think about the sciences. And that's true. In the sciences, this is what your independent study may look like. I work with our senior interns in their office, and every once in a while a student says, I can't make a meeting. I've got an experiment going on for my independent study, and I have to be there for that. So this is what it could look like, but it can also be creative as well too in the music and the theater departments. We have students produce short films in the English department. So students can also be creative, but in reality, this is probably realistic. This is what a real independent study experience looks like, where students are working one-on-one with a faculty member. They have a question or something they want to find out more about. And again, that faculty member is working with them to help complete that undergraduate research experience. A couple quick examples here of undergraduate research experience. If you want to kind of take a quick look, I'm just about out of time, a little bit over time, but there's that. And then also I wanted to point out the success we've had with undergraduate research. Since 2002, U.S. News has asked different college presidents and deans who's done the best job of undergraduate research. Since 2002, undergraduate research and capstone experiences. And since 2002, only 2 schools, Worcester and Princeton, have been on that list every single year. So it's just nice to hear other people talk about our research at Worcester. I've got one slide about visiting. I'm going to skip that because I'm transitioning right now. I'm taking off my Worcester hat and just going to speak just a little bit about, I'm sorry here, let me correct something. There we go. Speak a little bit about the benefits of a liberal arts education, and also a little bit about outcomes as well too. And so regardless if it's Worcester, if it's Oberlin, Kenyon, Denison, or another liberal arts school, these are some of the things that we know are benefits of liberal arts education, right? So I think for me, one of the major benefits of a liberal arts education is that the focus just isn't on just training you to do a certain job, right? Now, I think Nancy from Denison highlighted, it was called the Knowlton Center, I believe is what it was called. She highlighted the Knowlton Center as their career service spot on campus. We call it Apex at Worcester. I know Oberlin, I know Kenyon have great career service departments as well too. But so there are ways to make sure that students have the internships and the field experiences that are a must these days in terms of job placement and career readiness. So it's not that you can't get a job after you graduate, but the focus really is on teaching students the kind of key attributes that are featured on this slide, right? So a student with a liberal arts background we feel like are going to develop the analytical skills needed to critically think about problems and also to be able to persuasively communicate creative solutions to problems as well too. And so those are the benefits of a liberal arts education. And the question is what does that matter, right? And so these are a couple different surveys I'm going to reference here, but the Association of American Colleges and Universities, they did a survey and they found that 93% of employers agree that the ability to think critically, to communicate clearly, and to solve complex problems are more important than any undergraduate major, right? And again, these are the skills that liberal arts programs are aggressively teaching. LinkedIn, who we're all familiar with, LinkedIn, who we're all familiar with, also did a survey in 2018, and they found that 57% of business leaders prioritize soft skills over hard skills, right? And the rationale was, and I'm quoting here, one can always learn technical skills on the job, but soft skills can translate to any job or career path. The most important aspects are the most important aspects of being a teammate and a leader. If you're looking for some great examples of what you can do with a liberal arts background, I think this is a great slide. Some of our favorite companies and businesses are featured here. But all these organizations were either founded by or are currently run by individuals with a liberal arts background, right? Now, these I think are only a few examples, but I just think that this slide does a great job of demonstrating the power of a liberal arts education. I think we're going to transition now to a little bit of Q&A. And so I'm going to ask our counselors to bring up their screen again. How do I do that here? I'm not going to stop sharing, but I'm going to activate my camera somehow. There we go. There we go. So you've got our contact information, but we've been paying attention to the Q&A, and hopefully, Nancy, are there any questions that we have?
There are none that have popped up right now, but certainly if there are any questions, please put them in the Q&A.
Thanks to all of you. I just wanted to say, David, it's so helpful to have folks think about after college and really the skills that one develops when they are pursuing a liberal arts and sciences education. And you know, everything that we have read, and of course it's our job to do this, but everything that we have read and these national surveys time and time again are suggesting that really a liberal arts and sciences education is the key to being able to be flexible, because the jobs that will exist several years from now aren't even in existence right now. So how can you train for a specific job if the landscape is going to change so drastically within the next 4 to 5 years? So I really appreciate everything that you brought to this discussion about the after effects and really the skills that we're developing in all of our colleges for students who are pursuing a liberal arts and sciences education. Okay, no questions?
Questions? Yeah, we're not seeing any questions.
Okay, well. I think we could all talk about perhaps an alum or two, or who have been very successful with the liberal arts and sciences education. Nancy, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our alumni was Richard Lugar, who was a senator, and he actually developed, senator from Indiana, he actually developed a great program for us called the Lugar Program, where students were able to go to Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill and get incredible experience. And so, you know, and he remained very connected to Denison throughout his time that he was in Congress. So for us, we feel like, you know, having people like that out there that have come from a liberal arts education, making incredible decisions and shaping policy, it's been fantastic for us. And then one other alum that you may be familiar with is Jennifer Garner. And she actually came 2 years ago and gave our graduation speech, really well known, obviously, in TV and movies, and still is very much connected to Denison as well. So there are some amazing things that people have gone on to do. I'll turn it over to, how about Josh?
Sure. Very quickly, so two alums, one well-known, one not as well-known. The gentleman who helped eradicate smallpox, he led the team that eradicated smallpox, is a gentleman named D.A. Henderson, graduated from Oberlin. So I think a lot of people think of Oberlin as a place that's only for the more artsy people. Here he was, somebody majored in the science and just dramatically changed the fortunes for so many people around the world. The other one I would mention is a guy named Jerry Greenfield, who some of you may know of as the co-founder of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. Was a chemistry major, but started this ice cream company with a conscience, used local organic ingredients, donated profits to help preserve the rainforests, and more recently told the Ben & Jerry are no longer employed at the company. They've moved on. But when Black Lives Matter started 5 or 6 years ago, they sort of read the riot act to those in charge who said, originally they had said, our employees are not going to be permitted to wear Black Lives Matter attire to support the movement. And Ben & Jerry said, you're wrong. Absolutely. Your employees must. This is a company that cares about the impact they're making out there in society. And so they were taking a stand as well. So just a couple of people who've gone on to do great things from Oberlin. David?
Yeah. So I cheated last time, so I actually brought a real person. And I'm still going to use my example from last time too. But I brought Stan Gault. Stan Gault is a Worcester alumni who for years ran Firestone Tire and also ran Rubbermaid in town as well too. So two brands that I think we all know as well. But I cheated last time and brought my wife up. But I just think that it's a great example because it's not, it's definitely like, it's not a Firestone, it's not a Ben & Jerry's, it's not a Disney. But what it does is highlight that our liberal arts students with liberal arts backgrounds can do a variety of things, and that career part that Ellen was talking about, I think is essential. My wife graduated with a degree in classics and women's studies and has worked in business. He's worked at the place who makes Similac in Columbus. I can't remember the name of the place right now. I made a brain fart, but and also now it's certified English speaking in Worcester. And so like to watch her be able to pivot from being classics and a Spanish major with a women's studies background as well too, to be able to work in business and be able to transition within multiple businesses, I think it really speaks to the power of a liberal arts education.
And I have a couple of alums to talk about from Kenyon, but I see we have a question, so I'm going to follow up with that. We have a student who asked about how easy is it to minor in music, playing an instrument, while majoring in something that's not connected to music at all. And I think that I'm just going to answer this for everybody rather than typing it into the chat. I think all of us would say that our music programs would definitely accommodate students who want to have a significant experience in music, even if they're not majoring in that particular subject. Oberlin, it's a little bit different because there's certainly the conservatory, and Josh could talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think all of us would
Yes.
support music students.
Yes.
At Kenyon, we have 13 vocal ensembles, a cappella singing groups, acquired their woodwind ensembles, brass ensembles, et cetera. And I think that's true for all of the institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Grand. Good. Well, we want to thank you wait, is there another question that's popped in? Nope, I think that's it.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
All right, great. So we want to thank you all very much for joining us today. We hope that you have learned a lot about specific schools in Ohio, your neighbor to the west. And we also hope that you've learned a lot about liberal arts and sciences education.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, thank you to our panelists. Hopefully you can see my thank you for joining us screen. But I just want to say once again, thank you to our panelists. If you have any questions for our panelists, you will be receiving their contact information after the event. Again, this will be recorded, so you can access it on the PACAC website. And we encourage you to not only fill out the quick survey at the end of this, but to continue to sign up for other sessions. But that's all we have for this afternoon. So thank you for joining us. And once again, thank you to our panelists. Have a good day.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.